what you as a consumer or customer for insurance, what your options are. You don't have to go there. We get customers that are like, I have to go here or my insurance isn't going to cover it, because that's what they've been kind of steered into. And, we tell them, you pay your insurance. It's up to you. You fix it yourself. You don't have to go where they steer you to go.
Welcome to the Know Me Network. This is Chris Williams, your podcast host. We've got a special guest today from the Dent Company, owner, operator, Cody Wilson. Welcome to the show, Cody. How you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So just an introduction. You and I met each other through our kids' school. So your wife, Kaylee, and your son, Easton, are in my youngest son, Harvey's class. And so that's kind of how you and I connected.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And since then I reached out to you and was like, hey, how do you feel about being on the podcast? And I've learned a lot about your story and your business, and just really thought it was a cool story that people need to hear. So with that said, walk us through where Cody got started. You're pretty sure you're from Dallas, and
born and raised in
Richardson.
Yeah.
So okay, where'd you go to high school?
J.J. Pierce. It's kind of probably about 5 minutes from where you're kind of in the same area that we're in over by Custer and Campbell's. It's about 5 minutes from there.
Yep. And how long has Texas Dent been around?
About the mid 2017 in July is when I met Carlos. I met Carlos 2017 in May, and then he was this guy across from me was doing PDR, and I didn't even know what it was, which is what we do now. And I was selling cars. I had an independent lot, and he came over and was like, hey, I need more space for my technicians. And I just started, and he's like, can I rent out, a quarter of your shop and I'll pay the rent? I was down with that because I wasn't making any money. And he put Carlos in there, and I had a 2015 Dodge Charger beat up with hail, and Carlos at the time didn't even speak, any to much English, and we used the Translate app, and he asked me what I was going to do with it, and told him I was going to sell it, and he asked me if he could fix it and we could sell it and split the money, and we did. We made about $3 or $4 grand each, and light bulbs kind of started going off, and he wasn't liking the guy he was working for, and we did it again and did that for a few months, went to auction, bought cars, and then he was like, man, I've done this 17 years, and business. If you want to try it out, let's go. And formed a corporation and started going.
Wow, that's a lot. So let's unpack that a little bit. So you left J.J. Pierce, and I'm trying to find the journey from leaving J.J. Pierce to, man, you met Carlos, who is like a modern day prophet, kind of changed your life, right?
Yeah, I got out of school, went to Collin County for a couple years. Then I went to UNT, got a degree in kinesiology, did personal training. Thought that was kind of what I wanted to do. Didn't pan out. I went down the party path for a little bit, hanging out, and then just, working, but not doing anything like in particular. Then started an e-cigarette. Go ahead.
Just real quick, you're a young guy, so you went into the kinesiology degree, and how long did you do the personal training thing before you realized that, hey, that might not be for you?
I did it throughout school, a couple years, probably 4-ish years, give or take.
So that's like its own sales job in itself, right?
Yeah, I did independent. So like I'd have clients to go to the gym, or I'd go, some of the clients, they'd have, facility at their house or weights at their house, and I'd go there and kind of work with them for an hour and a half.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you moved from there to where?
I did personal training, and then I worked off and on still throughout that time for a moving company. I worked for a moving company. One of my sister's buddies, he owned one. Did that for 12, 14 years, from like 16 to early 20s, and he moved away. And then my roommate at the time, he went over to Shenzhen, China. That's when e-cigarettes were like becoming a thing. He went over there, found a manufacturer. We started a company called Illis Vapes. It did well, but it didn't end up panning out. And so that kind of fizzled out. And then I started DTX Imports, which was my car dealership, auto company. I did that from 2014 to up until I met Carlos, and then, tapered off of that and started doing this.
So e-cigarette business, sounds like a cool hustle. What'd you learn from that business? Obviously, we don't actually ever fail. We just learn, right? So what'd you learn from that business?
I learned a lot from that, actually. I kind of put more with that. I didn't have it was my buddy started it. We were partners. It was my roommate, but I kind of let him take full reins and kind of just sat back. And, there were things, it was his first company that he wasn't doing and I wasn't doing. And I didn't take the initiative like I do now. Like I, run this business like it should. And, we had a good concept. We actually had an e-cigarette that had an app on your phone that tracked the amount of times you hit it and the nicotine that you're smoking. And then what it would do is if you were trying to taper off, you could actually see how many times you're hitting it in a day, and you could set a setting to where it would cut off when you hit marks, and you could track it on a graph. It was a pretty cool idea, but we didn't.
Are people actually trying to stop smoking, or are they wanting to smoke?
They're wanting to smoke. It was a cool concept. I mean, it was really cool. Everyone we showed, but then selling it, and then everyone and their mother. When e-cigarettes came out, those e-cig shops popped up on every corner. We did have a couple of those we sold bulk to, but it just wasn't anything I liked. I just, my mom's owned a business, my sister, my grandpa, my dad, my uncle. So my whole family's owned their own companies. So I've kind of seen that. And funny enough, people ask, obviously you can see I'm covered in tattoos, but I tattooed my hands because, like, mentally for me, I did it because I wanted to take that safety net away from myself as far as being able to get a corporate job or, have that safety net, because that exits you out of a lot of jobs. So I kind of did that to give me a push to, do the entrepreneur thing and make it work.
Yeah, well, you come from a history of that. So can you tell me a little bit about some of the businesses that you were around growing up in your family? And maybe one or two that really stuck out that made an impact on you?
Well, my dad, he was essentially a modern day Fred Flintstone. He owned a rock quarry. So he mined rock. So he'd go in Missouri, he'd go inside a mountain, blow the rock out, set up crushers, crush it, the asphalt, base rock, sand, do all that. And, I grew up, I was probably Easton and Harvey's age watching that, riding on tractors and stuff. And my mom was a pretty successful appraiser. She did that for 34 years. And, I remember when I was out of school in summer, she was doing 8 to 10 a day, which for an appraiser is a lot. So I kind of saw that. And then my great grandpa started Flannery Sales, which they sell like holiday stuff like bags, Easter, like the holiday stuff like Michael's and Design Spies. That was one of their, who they sold to. So I kind of saw that, and, I did the movement company, made hourly. For me, the hourly wasn't going to cut it. I've always had goals. I'm good at setting goals. And, one of my goals was to be a millionaire at X age and, taper up, and hour to hour wasn't going to cut it. So I made the jump and tried a few things. This one's obviously been, real successful, but some of them weren't, but I did learn a lot along the way for sure.
Yeah. So, interesting. So you've been in Dallas the whole time all this is kind of going on, right?
Yeah. We started traveling with this company in 2019. We went to Odessa. That was our first travel, because Carlos had been telling me he's traveled, he's from Uruguay. So he's traveled for, at the time, up 17 years, Germany, Europe, all over the United States. And at that point we had started, it was just him and I, literally two. And I wasn't ready to make the commitment because I had never traveled for work. And it took us 2 years, and we went to Odessa, and then we ended up crushing it out there, man. We went to Odessa. At that point I had 4 salesmen, and we had, I think, 5 techs, 4 salesmen, and an R&I, which is remove and install, the guy that drops everything. And we were out there from March 2019 to January 2020, and I think we did close to 700 cars, 600 cars, which at the time, that was a lot.
Yeah. So you brought up this about your mom being an appraiser, and you talked about 8 to 10 cars, I guess, or 8 to 10 appraisals a day. And I kind of saw you kind of associating dollars to the units, if you will. Do you feel like that kind of played into any of your, how you process this business as well?
Yeah. When Carlos and I started this, I'm big on the podcast, like Ed Milet. That's what I was listening to this morning. I start with him, the entrepreneurial kind of sphere, whatever realm. But with this company, my other ones, I tried to, I had the end goal and tried to get there too quick. I never built the base. And so we're back to the units. I mean, obviously with what we do as cars, but I told Carlos from the beginning, we're going to build slowly and build a base. And, we grew a little as far as employees, grew a little more, with the money in the I knew what the potential was, but I didn't try to make that hurry and, get there real quick like I did on the other ones. But I mean, everything's a numbers game, especially with what we do. We're on the retail side, I guess, versus like your wholesale dealers and stuff like that. So the numbers are better. But yeah, everything's about numbers for sure.
Gotcha. So you keep talking about Carlos, and for those folks that may not know who Carlos, kind of tell me who Carlos is and what he means to the business.
Carlos, my dude. Yeah, it's funny. He actually, he looks similar to me. Got big red beard, long hair, tattoos. People think we got asked if we were twins yesterday. I said, go talk to him. He's got a real heavy accent. He's from Uruguay, but he's my dude, man. He's definitely one of those people that, as soon as we met, he didn't speak English for the first, year or so that we were, so it was real broken. We were using to translate, but we hit it off right off the bat, man. We each had the same goal in mind. He came over here, he'd been over here at the time, maybe year and a half from Uruguay. And, he just was tired of being a tech, working hourly, essentially is what, they're doing. They're getting paid per car, but they, a lot of companies don't pay much. And we just hit it off, man. We connected, we sold that car pretty much from that point on. He finished with that guy that month, told him he's done, came over, put us up in the shop, and we went to auction and pretty much been together damn near every day since then, and now he lives about 2 miles from my house, and kids are friends, and brothers.
I hear you. So you had this used car lot, right?
Yeah, I warehouse, and I sold whatever at first, then I kind of get into niche, and I'd sold Lexus predominantly. That was when the IS was big, 2013, 14, 15. So, I kind of stuck with that. Good niche, but the car was, cost more than I wanted. And, everyone and their mother, sells cars. So it's real competitive. So it wasn't lucrative. It did what it did well, I guess, if you want to say that, but it definitely was not my calling. But had I not done that, I would have definitely never met him, and none of this would have panned out. So in the long run, it was definitely, worth the go.
Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting. So personally, as you look back at your life, is there any just impactful moments that you think made you just a better business owner? As you look back, man, you talked a little bit about partying. Is there anything that you learned through just growing up that you feel like just maybe makes you a better business owner?
I've always been intrigued with the business side, seeing it, not necessarily watching it to learn, but just being around it. My sister started her own, realtor company with one of her friends, like I said, my uncles and everything, but trial and error, really. And pardon my French, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but you just got to have balls and, go for it. People are scared, or they've got an idea, and they'll stick a toe in the water, so to speak. And my dad, I got a good combo. My mom is by the book, super organized, clean. That's where I get my OCD, good with money, investing, safe. My dad, we had multiple, quarries. Like I told you, he started a few of those, built them, sold them, made money, lost money. So he's got it to where, if it's there, he's going to go and do it. So I got a good mix of both because I'm good with my money as far as like, I understand. I guess when I understood money makes money, don't make money and spend it. That's when it was like, bam, because like with this company, I didn't pay myself 2017, 2018, and I think I paid my first paycheck at like November of 2019 because I reinvested. But once I learned, understood that, put it back in, reinvest it, that's when it really started, going to town.
So, hey man, hailstorm came along. I'm here in Richardson. How would I find you? How would you find me? How would we get connected?
So I got 5 guys now that knock, like, go door to door, knock. That's kind of the main method with the industry we're in, is door knockers.
Well, in my neighborhood, they're always posting, hey man, there's guys out knocking on the door. What do you do in those situations?
Well, they gotta, I've had a couple guys that, the no soliciting. Some counties you gotta pull permits. You can get in trouble, if there's no soliciting and they still knock, which they know not to, but it does happen. But I'm trying to taper in, your buddy Benji, he came yesterday. I'm trying to help someone help me do the estimates because that's a lot of my time, so I can put a lot of focus into the online. With what we do, the online works. I mean, anything online works, but it's finding the right, I don't know how you'd word, like not like a funnel, but finding an ad to get someone to click to, for our services. It's not considered, like people just look at it and, oh, it's hard to target online, I guess, with what we do, because most people just, flip it to the side. So it's finding creative ways to, for your videos, in your ads, or the content that you create. And that's what I'm trying to, learn and figure out. So that's kind of one of my business goals this year, because I've paid, companies to, target market, do text message ads. That didn't pan out at all well for us. A couple times I tried that. I got people that would, text back, F you, I don't want this, quit texting me, quit doing all this. So that's kind of my next thing to tackle, is to figure out, the online, or find a company rather, I guess, it's good at online to
So where does the majority of the business come from now? Those 5 guys just banging on doors?
Man, I got some monsters on knockers. I'm gonna be honest. I got 5 guys. I got one of my new guys started last year. He's up and coming, dude's awesome. And then I've got 2 other salesmen that are, beasts. When we go to a new store, we got here March 25th when I signed the lease here. So we've been here since March, about a little over 2 months. Or I guess we just hit our 2 months, and we've done probably 240 cars. We do have house deals and stuff, but I've got 2 guys that on a new storm. One of them, he'll get, anywhere from 25 to 35 contracts in 2 days on a new storm. He's literally door to door. He's just a monster salesman.
So when you show up at my door, one of these guys shows up on my door, what are they telling me? Because I don't know that I've personally had a dent guy come knock on my door. I got roofers coming to knock on my door.
Those guys, I like roofers, but they mess it up for us because they'll have younger, they'll hire a bunch of people because they'll just have these guys go out and flyer houses, which is the roofers, a new storm, anyone's watching this. The next morning you wake up 6 a.m. you got roofers knocking on your door because they just pay them, $20 an hour, and they go hit all these things. So what it does for us is it saturates neighborhoods because there's so many of them. So when we go to knock, my knockers, they've got to say, we're not a roofer, because they've already knocked the doors. But all my guys are different. I've got one guy who's just super laid back, just hey, I saw your car outside, kind of like that approach. I've got one guy that's like your typical salesman, like hey, like the go, they're all different. So, I mean, pretty much, they knock, they say, hey, I'm so-and-so with Texas Dent Company. We're in the area. We're helping everyone out with their hail in the vehicles. I noticed you had a couple cars in the driveway, are you thinking about getting them repaired, or have you ever done a hail claim before, and kind of explain what we do. And, they'll walk them through the process. They'll file the claim. We have rental vehicles, they'll pick up, drop off. So they'll kind of go through their spiel on what we do, and all of them spin it differently. I don't have one.
So I've never had a hail claim before. You mean I have to file this on insurance? I'm asking these questions in hope that you can kind of provide some light on, just the process. And if I do get the sales guy at my door, he's taking my car, is it a 3-week turnaround? What's this whole process like?
So from start to finish, pretty much, you get hails on your car. You've got up to a year and a half, I believe, to make the claim. Obviously, you want to do it sooner than later. But you just call your insurance, let them know it's a comprehensive claim. So that's something they explain too, because people automatically assume claim negative on insurance. Well, comprehensive, weather related, water, hail, fire, assuming no one set it on fire, but weather related conditions, they can't penalize you. So we've got to educate the customer and let them know, because people are scared to file the claim. And we, tell them it doesn't go against them. And if you don't file it, it's the same either way. So just real quick, for people that may not know. So when you file a hail claim, it doesn't go against you directly. So you've got Progressive and you live in 75080 zip code. What Progressive does is they take the amount of claims in that zip code and they average it and they smooth it across the board. So if you ever notice your rates will go up, depending on the season and area you're in, it may go up $1, $2, a little bit. That's where that comes into play, is how they spread it across. So, if a customer pays for comprehensive, you're paying monthly, you get the damage and you don't file a claim because you're scared, because they're not, educated in the sense that it doesn't go against them, then it's the same to you either way. So you're just doing a disservice, to yourself as far as not filing the claim. But like what we do, I've got, I just bought 2 more. I think we got 21 rentals now. So like my guys, they'll file the claim if they hadn't already. We'll direction to pay, repair, authorization form. Sometimes they'll go out in the rental and they'll just trade keys with the customer, do the contract. Everything's electronic. Do a rental agreement, bring the car to the shop, leave the rental. Sometimes people schedule an appointment. They'll come by, drop the vehicle, but we make it easy. As far as repair time, our cycle time is fast. My guys are quick. From start to finish, right now, if it doesn't need paint, which means there's no broke paint, you don't have to replace a panel. We're looking at, I believe, our turnaround time is like 4 to 5 days, which is fast for PDR. A lot of shops keep them for a typical body shop repair is anywhere from 5 to 8 weeks on their repair. And if it needs paint, I tell people 7 to 10 days to give us room, but we're about a week out on paint, which is also very quick, as far as cycle time.
Interesting. So, I had an interesting story. We were talking about my buddy Benji that was out there yesterday with you. He said, hey man, I was driving in town and I saw this Texas Dent truck, this sweet Dodge Ram with Texas Dent on it. He said, I thought it was Cody. Come to find out it was someone else driving this car. So if I'm driving an Escalade, man, I don't want to take a Geo Tracker for a rental.
Yeah, no, our rentals, we started out in Odessa back to that 2019. I think at that time, because I had sold cars and we went into this, I had cars, I guess, left, if you want to call it. So I just put them in use with this because, a lot of times people that have rental, they'll file the claim and then you've got to call Enterprise and set up a reservation, which means, they give you essentially a number, time, date. And so you've got to go to the customer, go to Enterprise, come to the shop, finish the vehicle, go back to the Enterprise with the customer. It's just a nightmare. So I kind of, that was the light bulbs started going off, and I was like, well, we can one-stop shop it. So we started with 6, built up. That was 19 to 20 last year, or 20 to 21. I think I got to 11. And mind you, these are used cars. You know, I was buying, and we'd fix people's cars, and they wanted to sell them. So there was a couple, you know, vehicles that we did the repair on that we bought. But as of last year, I got a fleet account with Nissan, sold all the used ones. So now I've got 5 2021 Nissan Sentras, 6 2021 Nissan Rogues, a 22 Titan, 22 Frontier. I just bought another Frontier. And then now I got on with Kia, and I just bought 4 2022 Tellurides, which is a third row. They're big SUV. And then the new Sorento, and then 2 K5s. So I bought all new because, you know, we did have issues with some of the older ones as far as, you know, they were old, you know, 80,000 miles. So you know, wear and tear. So I went brand new, bumper to bumper, parts and warranty. You know, they're nice, like everyone in town. The Tellurides, the first 2 we got, because I kind of got them in waves. The same day those 2 Tellurides went out here in Big Spring, we had 2 different customers come in, say that their friend was in the Telluride, took it to their house. They were waiting on that because they're brand new, and I put the logo on the side. So I've got 20 vehicles out there right now with Texas Dent. All my technicians, we have lifted, you know, new Dodge Rams. I think there's 4 of them, you know, 6-inch lift, 37s, badass trucks. They have the logo. All my salesmen have it. 24-foot trailer. You know, we've got, and in a little town like this, you know, I think population here is, what is it, 40,000. It's small, you know, small.
But you're not just in Big Spring, though.
Oh, no. But West Texas is that's where we predominantly, you know, we've been here since 19. I'm actually trying to buy my end game goal is to have a shop in Odessa and a shop here in Big Spring, because Midland, Big Spring, Odessa, Stanton, this area, it's a huge piece of the hail pie, if you want to call it that, for Texas. And we've made a huge name out here. I mean, since 2019, we've done thousands of cars out here. And we have repeat customers, and these smaller towns, you know, when you can brand and make a name. Body shops here in town, they hate us because, you know, they don't do what we do. People think, you know, body shop, their repair type, they do collision, we do PDR, paintless dent repair. You know, and people don't know what that is, and it's a specialty where we get the dents out, you know, via tools and different techniques without painting your vehicle, without Bondo. Well, you know, that's how our cycle time's quicker. We repair it differently, and we're not painting your car, putting Bondo on it. And that's how their main shops out here work. And the fact my guys are good. We're good at what we do. We're fast. We have brand new rentals. You know, we're from out of town, but we've been here for 2019. So we get flack from the body shops. But the customers love us, man, because they've only experienced that type of repair. And over the last couple of years, you know, here in Big Spring with what we did last year and here, you know, we're probably close to 700-800 cars, so 700-800 people, you know, in a small town that have told people. So we're getting a really good name. So I'm in the process of actually trying to buy this facility we're in here. Got it. And it's an older building. It's nice, but it's set up good. Buy it, you know, renovate it, put a location here, because Midland's another big city, bigger. And it's about 30 minutes from here, and then get one in Odessa and have a couple shops out here in West Texas, and, you know, really make it known out here.
Yeah. So not only do you get, you know, it sounds to me like you're going to roll up to my door and there's going to be a sweet Telluride outside. And
that's what they do.
The hardest part of the deal here is for me to just say, I'll take your car. And these guys are basically doing my insurance claim, keeping me updated, and then in 4 to 5 days I get my car back, and all I've had to do is drive yours. And I'm typically not out any cash, right?
We cover we work with people because it's on how you work. Like roofers, they can't cover the deductible. The deductible's between the customer and the shop. We do up to 1,000, which is 99% of people are under that. You do have a couple that are we had a couple that were 2,000. Now in those instances, we can only do up to 1,000. But yeah, I mean, for, majority of the claims, you're not out of pocket, the quality that we do, and there's our reviews, people, and we tell people too, go check us out, because it is one of my guys taking your car. I tell people, we just did an Escalade, $120,000. Look us up, talk to your husband, your wife, look at our credentials. But yeah, essentially no out of pocket. If you never file a claim, my guys will do it with them right there, or they'll get the policy info and come here and do it. They'll take the rental to the customer. Customer's welcome to come here. I mean, it's seamless and easy, which it should be. And that's why, people are starting to understand, because, your insurance is going to send you to a body shop. They're preferred with them. Well, you had never done a hail claim. Your insurance has your best interest in mind, right?
Always.
Okay. You know what I mean? Because people don't know. They're like, well, they told me to go to Caliber. Okay. Well, one, Caliber, you are going to pay your deductible. So there you're out money. Two, you're going to have to set up your own rental and get a ride to and from the rental and drop your car off. Three, their average cycle time is about 5 to 6 weeks, which some people's coverage only covers up to so much, coverage like during that time. So if you go over your rental plus all that, it can actually get really costly. And, we're just trying to, I'm trying to put educational content out as far as, what you as a consumer or customer for insurance, what your options are. You don't have to go there. We get customers that are like, I have to go here or my insurance isn't going to cover it, because that's what they've been kind of steered into. And, we tell them, you pay your insurance. It's up to you. You fix it yourself. You don't have to go where they steer you to go. And
so it sounds like there's some education there.
There is
differentiation of what actual body shop is and what actually you do. So, when would I go to a body shop versus coming to you? Or is there a gray line where, hey, we can do some minor body work? I'm trying to understand if my car's got hail and I got a kind of a fender bender.
Well, we do, as of last year, we do in-house paint. So, when we travel, we find paint. There are instances, the car's destroyed. You've got to replace the hood, or we've got a truck out there right now. It's all PDR, but there's a spot on the hood spot on the roof that's broke. It does need paint. So, they go hand in hand, but you don't need, like, body work for people that don't know. So you've got dents all over your car. We push the dent out, same panel, same paint, which is what you want, OEM paint panel. Body shops, what they'll do is they'll fill in the dents with Bondo filler. They'll resand the whole vehicle down, and they'll paint the entire vehicle, because they don't specialize in what we specialize in. So then, customers don't know that. Like, I showed a picture to a customer of the two types of repair from a body shop here, not naming names, of someone that brought it, and they had no idea, and then you run the risk, in a couple of years out in the sun, especially out here in West Texas, the Bondo breaks, or you get hit again with hail, and all those spots that have Bondo on it,
no kidding, that can happen.
Yeah, because you got to think, out here it's 100, and during the summer 105, 110. You've got that sitting there, under the sun, baking all day, every day. Those types of repairs, repainting, because you're not going to get a better paint than the manufacturer.
So it kind of sounds like PDR is like a hybrid body shop if you don't have like extreme damage, right?
Yeah, it's a specialty. We're PDR specialists. It's a specialty, niche in the auto body, but they do, like I say, go hand in hand. So I've got down the road, we've got a paint booth, and I've got another shop, because that's another thing we tell customers, because other PDR shops, if they don't go to the body shop, most, probably 90% don't paint. So now what they do is they'll do what they can, and then they send it to a body shop. Well, if the body shop's already backed up, you're at the mercy and grace of that body shop, so it can cause a jam up. So I've got a painter from Austin. He's awesome. And then one of our guys from Dallas, I've got two, and we've got a 30 by 20 booth. We in-house everything. We in-house the rentals, we in-house the paint. The only thing that we outsource, which you need to and have to, is we do go OEM on parts from dealers. But that's another thing that customers like. They're like, my car's not going here to here. to here, bouncing around from the time they drop it off with us. And, we have customers, I tell them, come by the shop, check it out. They'll come by, vehicles in the same place every time. Peace of mind for them to know that it's not here. And then you send it to this guy, it's a one stop, the atmosphere. Obviously, I can't take the camera, but, the shop, we've got a cool vibe here. We got reception area, leather chairs, couch over here for customers, refrigerator, foosball. We've got a whole waiting area set up here. Then you go in the back and you've got all the bays for the technicians. So we like to take the customers back there because again, they've never heard PDR. Most people are like, what is that? So we take them back and we'll have the guys put the lights on the dents. They'll light up the dents and they'll work some dents out and push it. And, people are actually, they think it's pretty cool once they see it. They're like, I never, knew it. And it's good because then now they know what that is. Now they know if they get a door ding, it doesn't have to be painted. You know what I mean? It can be done with this type of repair. They're more educated. So when they get hit again or that something happens, they know, okay, I do have options, not just this, this option that's all I've known up to.
Yeah, so if you're out in Big Spring and you don't know what PDR is, swing through, check it out, and might as well pick up some swag. Tell us about all your gear you got.
Oh yeah, man, we get a lot of customers. So what we do, we call them swag bags. I'm missing my koozies right now. We put them in here and gave them out, but usually what we'll do is it'll have a cup. We let them have the option of the 32 ounce or the coffee one. Our reviews, reviews are huge for PDR. So we have a QR here in the office. When they grab their bag, we ask them, hey, can you scan it? It goes direct to Google. Punch in a review. We put these little thank you cards. It's got our QR. It says thank you. Give them our information. They can scan it. It usually has a koozie in it. We got our Texas Dent pins. Throw some stickers in there for them. We've got our keychains, little magnet, just a bunch of little stuff, and then the koozies everyone likes. But again, we're out, but I should have those this week.
So how do you get one of these? Is this something that's a care package with that for everyone? Do I get this at the beginning? Do I get this at the end?
Oh, we give them at the end. So like I said, most people come to pick up because it is a smaller town. So when they come, we'll have they look at the car, they'll scan that deal. If not, when my salesmen go to deliver it, they'll take it with them. If they do a review or not, they get one either way. It's just kind of like a thank you, and the cups, they're not the Yeti brand, but it's a Yeti. So, I mean, it's a solid cup. So, you get people that are in an office, they're drinking that. Hey, what's that cup? These guys fixed my, deal. Bam, it's just some.
Not only I hear a lot of value you missed there. It's like not only did you fix my car, but you hooked me up with a nice ride in the short term.
Yeah, and then that's a new look. Yeah, this is a new logo I had designed last week. This tank top. So we're gonna start doing. We get a lot of people that the shirts. We've got hats. Those are coming. I had one on these mannequins, and my guys gave them to their customer yesterday. But usually we've got hats and. Man, it's wild because people, they'll come in and they're like, hey, how do I get? We had a guy the other day, we just got these tank tops. I brought them into last week, and they're like, how do I get that? We've got the drawstring bags. I didn't put one in here, but they like it, and it's a little business cost, but it's an extra thing that 99% of shops I know don't do, and it's cool. You get your work done free. You get a nice ride. It's quick. You get cool little bag of stuff. It's the whole experience. So now we balled up that experience, and we have customers on our reviews. They say Texas Dent for life because we give them a good experience. It's not just like a typical body shop. It's more like a family fun, cool atmosphere, and people. I've got long hair, tattoos. I've had people walk in like, where's the owner? I'm like, you're talking to him. Right now, I don't have any teeth. I had surgery last week. If anyone's probably noticed my teeth, I can't put my fake ones in right now. But, and they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, man, it's I'm not doing your taxes. I tell them, if I was doing your taxes and looked like this, I'd probably be a little worried. But I'm
And
like, we're
I would second that, man. I've gotten a chance to get to know you, and you do have that family vibe. You do have loyalty. So I would encourage anybody who hears this, if they're thinking about getting their car fixed, give you a call. I mean, can they reach out to you specifically?
yeah,
Are
actually,
you available?
yeah, my number's online. We've got Google, got Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I mean, you name it, pretty much all the, major sources we've got. But yeah, Facebook's a big, a lot of people, just everyone, if I'm a Google guy, I'll Google everything. But you get a huge majority of people that go to Facebook, and we post pictures all the time, videos all the time. We've got videos of the different techniques, loop will just different things to show the customers. I'm going to get better about doing, more videos as far as like kind of not a podcast, but like me explaining, here's just explaining kind of like what we've been doing, of the process, hey, if you, never done a hail claim, this is, this are some things that, bullet points to know when you make the claim, or, things to be aware of, type stuff like that, because most people that they're at the mercy of their insurance. I mean, we love insurance, we work with them, but they don't fully educate them on their options, and that can lead them down, a longer road than they need to go down, so to speak, I guess.
Gotcha. So, what about the logo, man? Is it trademarked? Tell me about that. It's a sweet logo.
Yeah, well, that was my original logo, the Texas Dent. I did trademark the word Texas goes for dent repair. Last couple of years, I've been wanting something. It's kind of an abstract, that's not the exact state, but I've been wanting something with the state in it. And I had one of our guys that does some of our swag stuff. I was like, hey man, I want to do a logo with the TD in it. He shot me that, and we've got hats coming with that. I'll bring you a swag bag too. What size shirt are you actually?
I'll take a medium. I'll take a medium.
Man, but that I'm telling you, we've had that shirt out about the little mannequin guys, and we've got an area right when you walk in the waiting area. Everyone, what is that? Because you don't see that at a body shop. But that's another thing with this company going in. I wanted to brand it, because if not, you're another PDR shop. In any industry, if you don't brand or make it stick out for you differently, put your spin on it, you're just you're the same thing. So that's why with these things, the cups, the pins, it's, we don't need to give those out.
Yeah,
but,
I also think about your own personal brand too. You mentioned the tattoos and, the beard, and Carlos is similar. You probably have to be handsome. You got to be handsome and long-haired and tattooed.
Yeah, he's but yeah, not everyone here has tattoos, obviously, but some of my sales guys, but a lot of people, well, now they're more accepted, but it kind of puts their guard down. You go to a typical body shop, and again, nothing against these guys, but it's older, Caucasian males, it's run the same. It's boom, boom, boom. People come in here, we've got music playing, you're not allowed, but we've got foosball set up. They see the swag, they see all this stuff, the cars outside, and they're kind of like, they let loose, they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah, you guys have the cool factor going for sure.
Yeah, take them to the shop. They see all of my techs, they've got nice carts, which is what they put their tools on, the equipment's nice. We've got a big 15 by 10 LED hexagonal light, which is awesome for estimates. So it's, pull the car under, we tell people bring the car in, they see it under the light. Just give them, show them the full experience, and we do tailor it to the higher end, so to speak. But it's just
so.
Yeah.
So it sounds like an ideal client for you in my head is, hey, I don't have a lot of time. My car needs repaired, and these guys will come get my car and even deliver it to me.
That's what I tell people. It's time and money is everyone's saying. That's what I tell the sales guys. Time and money. Anything you're selling, it needs to save me time, save me money. Those are the only two things. When you buy something, it's price, time, and accessibility. When you buy anything, Amazon, if it ain't on Prime, more than likely I'm not buying it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what these guys, when these customers like, I don't have time, no worries, let me get some basic information. My sales guys, name, number, address, they get the VIN, the repair form, policy number. They'll come to the shop, file the claim, three-way with the customer if need be, or let the customer, here's the claim number, claim set up. The customer lets them know, hey, I'll be at work from 8 to 5. I have this window. If not, my guys will go to their house or work, run in, swap the key. Everything's electronic. So our rental agreement, which is cool, I just switched it to like our rental agreement. So for the time's sake, if someone is working, we can fill out the rental agreement complete. I can email it to the customer. It's an e-contract. They open the email, they sign it on their phone, iPad, whatever, send it back. So that makes it cuts that time down to where they're not sitting there, waiting for someone to do a contract. It's done. They read it over, swap the keys. So, I mean, they go to their work. There's people that work late. My guys will come up here at 11 o'clock. I met a customer at 12:15 about a week ago. They're like, that's when, and I stay up here. I get up here about 6 and leave about midnight. So they came. I mean, we make it easy. We work round the clock. So
That's
it's very
awesome.
easy and time efficient for the customer.
Yeah, customer focused, if you will. So, hey man, this sounds like a cool business, this PDR business. Hey, I'm interested, can just anybody open a PDR business? Are you thinking about franchising this? What's the future of Texas Dent look like?
That's funny you say that. Anyone, can do it. I mean, I didn't even know what it was, but you have to put, again, there's Dallas, for instance, there's 300 plus PDR companies in Dallas. You have to stand out. You have to differentiate, that's why the branding is huge for me. If anyone that works here walks in the shop, they don't have that on some type of shirt, they either go get it or I've got a boxes in there. I throw one out and put the shirt on. Like, it's just the look, the appeal. As far as franchising, I had a progressive adjuster ask me last week if we were going to. I don't want to franchise. I do want locations throughout Texas because Texas gets hail, annually. West Texas is my main focus. Odessa, Midland, Big Spring, they get it annually between the three, not all of them at the same time, but with every year, one of those three gets hit and they're 45 minutes apart. Dallas, I do want. It is very saturated. It is hard to sell in Dallas because those companies, because they don't, there's no difference in them. They don't offer anything additional, so to speak. They give customers thousands of dollars back, which we don't do. We tell people when they walk in, we are not the cheapest. If you go through insurance, it's not going to cost you a dime. But if you're paying out of pocket, because we do cash deals, essentially, people don't have coverage, we'll give them a price that we can repair it for. They can pay cash card, whatever. I tell them from the beginning, if you're coming here for cheap, you're not at the right place. There's a reason we are expensive. My guys are good. All my technicians are 15 to 25 years experience. The turnaround time, the rental, everything that we offer, I'm not gonna, you wouldn't sell a Louis Vuitton at a Dollar General. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to discount yourself because then you lose your value. Where, if you want a $1,000 job, I won't recommend any companies. I won't put my name behind it. But, I tell people there are a lot of companies that will do that. If you want it done, with us, this is what we can offer you. This is what we do. We are a boutique style, company, not
I
just
guess
a cookie cutter.
that's just back to the value statement of all those value adds. You're back to saving me time, not costing me anything, giving me a sweet ride, making it easy for me. Hey, I can call you and get a hold of you. All those things are things that I look for and to do business with people.
Those rides, so that hadn't gotten us in trouble. We had a couple husbands come in that will do the repair on the wife's car, and he's like, we had one of the first guys with a Telluride. I said, hey, how'd your wife like the car? He goes, well, we're going to the dealership and trading hers in and getting a damn Telluride. Thank you. And he started laughing, but it's funny because, last year when I got the Centras, we had a bunch of customers that they had kids, 20, 18, 19, 20. It's economical, it's gas efficient, and they went out and bought it. So, but it is funny with the Tellurides are a hit, man. I don't know if you've seen them, but the 22s they're nice.
Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of people that the wife and husband will come in and, they'll get it and they're like, oh, I want one. And the guy's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, that's on you, sir. But it is, they love them. So, but the rentals, yeah, a lot of people I needed to work a deal with Nissan last year because I had about 10 customers go buy either Rogues or Sentras. And I told the guy I bought Nissan, I said, well, you need to work a deal out. I've got people bringing their cars to get these cars in. We need to work some type of trade out.
Yeah, you need a referral agreement in
I
place.
know.
Huh? Hey, listen, Cody, this has been awesome, man. I'll give you, if 10, 15, 20 seconds. Hey, if there's a hailstorm, we're going to send this clip out to someone. What do you want to tell them if there's a hailstorm?
I'm not a salesman for starters. He kind of caught me off guard, but I just tell people, give us a call, check us out, stop by, let us educate you if you haven't been through the experience, with the PDR shop before. Just I don't know. You caught me off guard. I'm not. That's why I got some door knockers.
Oh, I got you.
If I
That's
had my
funny.
guys here right now, they would give you a good spin. But I just like tell people, I don't sell customers. Like how I do. I give them my card. I say, please go do your homework. Check us out. Even if you don't use, I've had a lot of customers that they end up, they want to go at the body shop. I still will sit with them and tell them things to, things to look for. I'll still educate. I'll still give them the value because that's going to go a long way with them. But yeah, man, on the pitch, I don't really have a pitch because.
Would you say that is it fair to say, hey, those folks that are being told go to the body shop, is it fair to say, hey, man, call me first or call me second?
That's where some of the content that I'm about to start putting out is more educational. A lot of people are like, come, free $1,000, like it's a salesy. I want to start just, doing videos like, 30-second, 45-second clips, kind of like you're saying, educating them, letting them know where they can go look, not just necessarily us, go online, do your homework, hail repair, hail claim, hail claim factors, whatever. Just the main thing is to educate the people, and that's what I'm about to start doing because a lot of people have no idea, and some people have filed multiple claims and still don't really know. You know what I mean? They're just insurance. Go here, get their car back, and it's like it's like a hamster wheel. And then if you can break that, educate them, give them that experience, then they're not. You'd be surprised too. We have customers that will have hail. Had such a crappy experience before and will leave the hail on their vehicle and not do a claim. And that is not a lie. And we've had people, and we're like, they'll end up, once they see the shop and we talk with them, but that's how adamant they are on the poor experiences they've had, is that these people will have a $50,000 to $60,000 car and leave the dents on it because they don't want to leave it with the shop. And it's crazy. And it's just, yeah, not a lot of companies educate the customers, so that's what I plan on.
Yeah, so stop by the shop. Come on out. What's the address?
Here in Big Spring, it's 1408 East 4th Street. If you live in Big Spring, you've seen us. Wild West Wings, it's like the happening spot right over here. It's one of their restaurants. But yeah, stop on by. I mean, we've got rental, everything sitting out front. You can't miss us. Flag banners, trailers, trucks, you name it. We got about 100 yards worth of cars. But yeah, stop on by, check it out. I tell people too, I like when people come to the shop. Again, I don't do sales, so on the phone, I know what we do, but I'm not a salesman, if that makes sense. I like them to come here, come in the shop, take them in the back, introduce them to a tech. I'll tell a tech, hey, do this, to show them, and kind of let them see, how the experience. That's what I think is best for a customer. Getting back to that is come by, check it out, get your eyes on it, and then while you're here, we'll give you the info and everything we do. And if you choose to roll with us, We'll
Yeah,
do the repair.
and we'll also attach your, all your social media sites where you've kind of posted some of this stuff too. So we'll be able to educate some clients from there. But
Yeah, our Instagram's got a lot of I'm not savvy with that. Carlos does them. He's good at them, but those little reel things where it's a little short video, he pretty much does those daily. So people can go, see that he's doing different deals. So we're getting more content out there, but that's where Benji, hopefully he's gonna help me out. So I've got time to do some more videos. I bought a drone the other day. We're gonna start doing some drone videos and, get some more
Sweet, man.
content.
It sounds like things are cooking. I appreciate your time. We'll get some of this out to the people. And thank you so much for joining me, Cody.
Thank you, brother. And I'll bring you a swag bag this weekend when I come back in town.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thanks.